everything straight. Excuse me. So we're going to get started in one moment. We're talking about transmuting negative energy. We're talking about alchemizing elements used in the holy books in order to heal ourselves, heal our situation. So we're going to get into it in just a moment. So on yesterday, I hope you guys have been watching me. I hope that you have supported my channel. Please make sure that you're using the links in order to donate to me. Yesterday, we were talking about Noah. And I wanted to give you an understanding of how you can alchemize and cleanse negative energy out of your life. How to use the holy books, and we have the story of Nuh in the Holy Quran. We have the understanding of what God has given to Nuh, to Noah. And we have the story of Noah in Genesis 8 through 11 about what God gave to him and sent to him as a sign. And this is what we are using, what God has given the prophets, and peace be upon Noah, in order to transmute negative energy out of our lives. And every prophet is given to us as an example, and they are given materials that we can use in our everyday regular lives. And I'm going to give you some of the ways that I use this type of information to cleanse negative energy from my clients. So in the story of Noah, and let me go ahead and pull it back up again because it went off. We are given the olive branch and the olive leaves that are given to Noah. And it says a dove, it says according to Genesis 8 and 11, a dove returned to Noah's Ark holding a freshly plucked olive leaf, signaling that the flood waters had receded, and dry land had appeared. Okay, so we understand that, we have a lot of gems in these stories from the holy books. We have a lot of things that we can use in order to cleanse negative energy, including the dove being a sign that, we are not, we are not in the flood anymore. There has been a cleansing up on the land. There is dry land. Okay? God has done everything that he needed to do during this time, and it took, I believe, 150 days for the water to recede. So we have an understanding that there are certain materials and chemicals given to the prophets that we can use to remove negative energy and alchemize, transmute negative situations into good situations. And this is basically what Noah did. Noah was able to take the ridicule that was thrown at him, the negative energy, the idols that they were serving at the time, the magicians that was using attacks frequencies in order to, send negative spirits to him, higher negative spirits to attack his mind. It says that in the holy books that, one of their spirits must have, attacked his mind with imbecility. So we understand that a lot of the things that's going on here now in our society, in our time, has been going on, throughout the time of the holy prophets that were sent by God. That these people, these demonic people, these narcissists were attacking the prophets in the same way that a lot of you are under attack. So let's get into using the olive leaves. So we want to make sure that you can use the oil. We understand that the oil is used for protection, for the shielding of that negative energy. When you pray over your oil, your olive oil that you have taken, and anoint yourself with it, you're going to have to anoint yourself because it's going to act as a shield. Once you pray over this type of oil that has been given to the prophets in the holy book for our benefit, for the relief and healing from any kind of attacks, from any kind of health ailment, okay? We can use that to anoint ourselves in any situation in order to stop the attacks, in order to shield ourselves from the attacks. You have to be able to pray over your oil, because the prayer is what is the understanding that we are thanking God. We are in gratitude to God for giving us a relief, for sending us a relief, so that we can shield ourselves and protect our family from any kind of generational curses or any kind of attacks that are being sent out. Okay, and in many cases, I have had to use this type of spiritual defense. This is a spiritual defense that was given to the prophets. And this is the examples that we have to go by, that we have to defend ourselves from any kind of negative attacks. So that is just one way, is to use the oil. You can grind that the whole entire plant, the olive tree, the olive bush is good for you. Okay, the entire thing, the roots and all, they're good for you. So we are looking at some of the benefits that I use with my clients, but I'm going to give you, some other ways that you can use these types of remedies, and we can alchemize using the holy books, the stories from the holy books. So, some of my clients enjoy when we do our foot cleansings, and they come to me for foot washes. I send them the foot washes, and I send them the olive oil that I have prayed over. And they are able to use this olive oil on their feet for any kind of, tricks that have been laid, any kind of attacks, stagnation that has been sent to your life. We can cleanse those scales using the olive oil that we prayed over. And I'm just going to type this in for a little while. Give me 1 second. So we also have an understanding that it's good for problems necessitating the scalp or the skin. So the olive oil is good to use, in a lot of ways that God has given us this relief for health problems and for, those people who like to lay tricks, those attacks, those narcissists or demonic people who are attacking. So we have these understandings. We have these understandings that a lot of the healing methods, we can alchemize from the holy books. We can transmute the negative energy just like the prophet Noah, peace be upon Noah, and transmute those attacks, those ridicule, those people who are ridiculing us in our lives, those people who are sending the black matter, the evil eye, those people who are sending the attacks. We can, transmute that negative energy into something good. So, and this is basically what I have been doing with my clients. This is what I have been doing. The reason why I came on this mission is because a lot of people did not understand, because it wasn't being taught from the holy books. It wasn't being taught from the holy spaces how to transmute the negative energy where you have been under attack all of your life. A lot of you have been under attack since you were, very young. In high school, the attack started where everything that you touch, it ended up belonging to someone else. Someone else, started siphoning your energy. Okay, so in the story of Noah, Noah is teaching us, our father Noah, he is teaching us how to transmute that negative energy, because he definitely, used one of the tactics that I love to use is to tell people the truth. I'm not going to let you, say God bless you and we don't serve the same God. Okay, so I got to tell you the truth. Okay, now just look at you. Okay, so he told the people the truth. So if you're ridiculing me now, likewise, when God sends that wrath and punishment upon your behind, then I can ridicule you, likewise, when you have nowhere to run, you have nowhere to go. And we also have to remember, these are some of the takeaways when we are transmuting negative energy, that we will not be able to get everybody to understand. Some of our own people will be caught up in the flood. So we have a lot of gems that's going on here in the story of Noah, because certainly his own son was caught up in the flood and did not believe him. So we have ways that we can cleanse negative energy off the land. There are different types of waters that I send my clients. There are black waters that I can send my clients, to cleanse negative energy. So again, these types of cleansing and healing mechanisms that we are taking from the holy books, it is derivative from the story where God used the flood, an overflow of water, to cleanse the negative energy off of the land, the scourge of the earth, the wickedness off of the land. So I can send my clients some black water in order to take a bath with if they have been under any kind of attack. I can give them some black water in order to remove the negative energy from their house. If somebody has laid tricks for them, in their yard, on their front porch. And I get so many videos of these types of attacks and people asking me to help them. Okay. I get these types of people who have been reaching out to me, asking me how to cleanse themselves, to send them a cleanser because they were attacked, for the holidays. Every time a holiday comes around, they are attacked. So there are different kinds of black water that I use for these types of situations with my clients. So God has given us a means and a relief from these types of demonic attacks, these types of narcissists that's trying to manipulate us. by the use of these different types of herbs and cleanses that he has given to the prophets in the holy book. And this is what we want to use, what God has given to the prophets and what God used for the prophets at the time of the prophets. So let's look into this, that, we can use, the grounding, the stem or the root, of the olive plant. We can use the leaves of the olive plant internally in order to cleanse any kind of negative energy that is inside of us. If you're having problems with ulcers, any kind of tumors, and internally you can drink the olive leaves as a tea in order to remove negative energy that has been sent inside of you, or that you have eaten the black matter inside of you. Okay, so I use this for some of my clients, and all of these types of methods, all of these healing methods for the skin, and I use, and we're going to get to that in one moment, but I wanted to tell you this and give you this from the internet. It says, adding a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil to tea, particularly herbal blends like chamomile or peppermint, enhances heart health, boosts antioxidant, and promotes relaxation. Cardiovascular support, high antioxidants, improve satiety, enhance relaxation, soothing textures. Now, this is just from AI, what I'm giving you here. But some of the ways that I use this type of herb, the olive oil, the branch, the leaves, the oil, is to, alchemize, excuse me, is to alchemize it when my clients call me and say that they have open wounds that will not heal, especially for those who have diabetes, who have ulcers on their legs or their feet, and they will not heal. So one of the ways that I can alchemize this type of healing method in order to benefit my clients is to use, they're going to have to wait, is to use and ground the branches, ground the leaves, and put them in a healing powder in order to, use as a salve on my clients, so that they can have this as a healing method. They can wrap it up, and a lot of those types of ulcers, open wounds that are on their legs and hands, is going to be healed. Okay, so we have to make sure that we know how to alchemize what the holy books is given to us. We have to make sure that we know what they are saying. There are different kinds of waters that I have to cleanse when I do foot washes for my clients. There are different types of waters. There are, waters to remove negative energy out of a space, to cleanse the house, to cleanse the land. And there are different kinds of healing waters in order that we can do foot washes and take a bath in, so that we can remove any kind of negative attack or higher spirit that has been sent, in the same way they were trying to do at the time of Noah, in the same way that they were trying to attack the prophets. And so let me just break it down for you a little bit, that, when we're talking about the black waters, in order to remove negative entities out of your life, out of your home, off of your land, spiritual attacks that are attacking you, then we also have the black waters in order to remove those negative energies that, I make. And I also have a vendor that comes very close to my recipe that I can send to my clients in order to remove these types of attacks. But we also have the healing waters. We also have the waters, the Job waters that was given to us, the Job tears that were given to us in the holy books, which is another prophet. Peace be upon Job. Okay, so that we can cleanse any kind of attack with our health, with our bodies, any kind of ulcers and sores that are associated, with the attack of these narcissists or the entities. And you have no idea that I have been receiving so many messages, especially every time it's coming up to the holidays. And this is when these narcissists like to attack. And this is why I have to, show you a healing method and give you the way that Noah was able to transmute any kind of negative energy that these people who were worshiping idols at that time, they're doing the same thing here. They think that they're better than you. They think that they should have your gifts. They think that they know more than you, and they think that you're naive, that they can take their way. So we have to make sure that we are just like Noah, that when God tells us to go ahead and start building, then God is going to move us out of these people's way. We have to be able to hear God and understand what's being said. Okay, we have to make sure that we're using what Noah was able to use when he was using the people that were around him, when he were using, the different types of persons that were helping him to build this ark and building it plank by plank. Okay, cutting this wood, cutting down the trees, getting the help that he needed, that God had sent to him. We have to make sure that we are able to hear when God is telling us to move away from these people. And I know a lot of you struggle with that because of the titles that some of these people have. But the example given to us by the prophet is that, some of our family members are simply enemies to us. Some of those friends that you've had for a very long time, they are enemies to us. So we have to be very careful about, relaying the messages, the good news, what God has for us. We have to be very careful about, telling people in our lives what God has for us. And again, I used to just simply tell people, I've outgrown you. I've outgrown, that type of lifestyle. That doesn't excite me. That's not going to give me anything, in my old age. And as a matter of fact, it's going to take everything hanging out with you. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're just like Noah. We're telling people the truth and we're backing it up. We're following what God has given us, and we're taking what God has given to us and we're using it, to give to mankind, the healing waters, and it's just about every prophet had some of the healing waters that were given to them. And this is where we take these healing methods to use the healing waters that God has given us in order to cleanse negative energy. And again, I always have to make sure that, I speak on one of my favorite prophets. We have in the 51 chapter of Psalms, David, wash me with hyssop. So these are, some of the herbs that we can use given to the holy prophets. And I cannot say it enough. We want to use what the holy prophets have given us. We don't want to use, what some of these practitioners are coming up with. And it has nothing to do with any of the prophets. It has nothing to do with cleansing negative energy. Okay? So these are our understandings that, we can heal ourselves. I was able to use the hyssop from the 51 chapter of Psalms. That's a truck, guys. I was able to use the hyssop from the 51 chapter of Psalms during COVID in order to heal a lot of, my patients when I was a caregiver at that time before I came on this mission with you guys in 2019, 2020, at the height of COVID. I was able to use that in order to heal myself and heal some of my clients whom I was taking care of, some of the elderly. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are using what's in the holy books. We know how to alchemize what's in the holy books. We can break it down now. We can make salves with the olive oil. We can make teas with the olive leaves. We can make different kinds of rubs that will benefit, people in a healing way. And this is what was given to the prophet Noah. Again, peace be upon Noah. And we really appreciate, the relief given to us through God, sending the prophets to us, that we are grateful and we're thankful and we're praying. We're fasting. We have Ramadan that is tomorrow. So we want to make sure that we understand that as well, that fasting is a sure way to get rid of negative energy, any kind of attacks, demonic people out of your life. They will be exposed. That negative energy will be exposed and it will go back to them automatically when you're fasting. So there are different ways that we can cleanse negative energy out of our life. We can alchemize and we can transmute for the benefit of ourselves. We can have the transmute the negative energy into something good. And that is what I have done on this mission. I have, traded in being a caregiver so that I can bring you the holy cleansing rituals that are given to you in the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, the methods, the rituals in which you can heal yourself, and we can call our power back from spending our money with people who are ungrateful for they will not even service us. And it always brings that back to my mind to see the black women that were in labor last year having to give birth to their children in their car. It brings that back to my mind where, we have a mother that's in labor and screaming, about to give birth. And we have a white tea lady, nonchalant. And this is how we have to call our power back, by going back to those healing methods, some of the old ways, the ancient ways that were given into the holy books, the cleansing rituals to cleanse these narcissists, these demonic people out of our lives, no matter where they may be at, in business, in our home, in community, or in our families. Okay, so I hope that you guys have received this message. I hope that you have supported me. You could, donate to me in the description above, in the links above. Please like, share, and subscribe to me. I'm here on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, and my home hub is YouTube. So you can reach out to me at any time, and you can donate to me in the description above. Please book your one-on-one life coaching sessions with me. Book your video chat sessions with me. Please reach out to me so that we can have a consultation, so that I can acclimate a gift and send you any kind of remedies that you may need to cleanse negative energy out of your life. I thank you so much for your support. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.